This one might take a little bit of getting your head round. So read it, reread it, listen to this again, and then just keep thinking back on this, maybe even coming back and reading it again in like a few weeks' time or a few days' time. Future you is a product only of present day you. It is not, lest you make it so, a product of past you. Now, it's a really easy mistake to make, and it's very common, it's normal, it's what I would expect for people to think of themselves entirely as an evidence-based thing from their history. What do I mean? You are who you have always been. You are a product of the events, relationships, decisions, situations that have came before now. And that result, you, is unchangeable. Those things that have happened before have moulded you into the person that you are now. Now, something to think about here and think about very carefully is that memories are incredibly unreliable. So much of our memories, so if you recall something repeatedly over like several months, you will start to change it. You will start to change your memory of that event. If several people all witness the same, say there was a robbery on the street, if several people all witnessed that, they will all report it in very different ways, even though they were all there at the same time witnessing the same thing. They might describe the assailant differently. And then when asked to recall it again in the future, they might change what they remember. So memory is incredibly unreliable. So when you think back to your past and the events and things that have happened, much of the result of that is our emotions attached to those events. So we create a scenario, we create a memory around our emotional response to that moment in time. And we'll mould it to fit our emotion better. So what does that tell you? That tells you that past you and the events that have happened that we don't really remember properly is not, lest you make it so, in control of present day you. So the first step to changing, if you want to change, and I'm not telling you you need to change, this is very personal, but the first step to changing, should you wish to, is to identify that past you doesn't exist. It's a choice. Okay, now this is the hard part, because I know, because I've spoken to thousands of people, I know that people find this step very difficult. How do you let go of those past events that feel so visceral and so real? Maybe even people from your past talk about those events and bring them up again. Maybe you've brought them up again. So you don't need to pretend that things never happened. You don't need to like live in a fantasy world like that. But what you can do is you can acknowledge that those things have gone. And the control that you give them over your life now is a choice. I'm not telling you that it's an easy choice. Okay, it's a choice that you have to make repeatedly. Now, anyone that knows me knows that I've had some incredibly bad things happen to me in my past. I might go into that sometime. And I've had to go through the process of letting that stuff go, so that it doesn't dictate how I live now and who I become and what I do and how I make my decisions about the future. So if you want to let go of things in the past and you want to move forward to a future you that you know that you would enjoy, you have this image in your head of who that would be and how that person would live, how you would live, how you would exist. So people quite often do that as they imagine themselves as very fit and very healthy. But you're not doing things today to put that future you in place, then that future you will not exist, okay? So it's great to have a goal, if you like, to have a vision of how you want your life to be, absolutely. And spend time really thinking on that and pondering that, because it will help you make decisions today that will lead you to that place. So remember that that person won't exist though, unless you do the things today to produce that person. So Today, present day you, forget about past you, okay? So if past you has done 1,000 diets and failed, that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that present day you is going to do the same. Present day you is independent of past you. Let past you go, okay? If past you has let you down and shown you that they fail at things, then let them go. Let them go. And move forward to that future you that you enjoy the vision of, that future you that excites you and gives you a little buzz. Move forward towards that by making decisions right now that's going to support that. So really obvious ones like this is like low-hanging fruit stuff. If you picture yourself doing a triathlon in the future, but you don't walk anywhere, far less run anywhere right now, then future you cannot suddenly do the triathlon. I mean, would it ever actually even happen? Would you ever actually enter the triathlon having not done the training that you're not doing just now? So start, visualize who you want to be. Think really carefully about like who that person is and what they can do. And I don't care if you think big. If you think about winning that triathlon, that is incredible. But do not put that image in your head if you are not going to take any steps towards it in the present time. Because that future you will never exist if you don't take action today, right now, in this time frame. So stop living in the past. Live for a future that you really, really want, not one that you think you deserve from past you and our past failings. Positive, let go of the negative, move forward into a positive, good world for yourself that you deserve.